Hey, what's up, everyone? All right, so what do I want to cover first? Well, first things first, I'm gonna go over yesterday's trade pretty briefly on what I lost. I lost yesterday, not good discipline. I'm gonna keep scrolling down, but just gonna, yeah. Ready? I got fried yesterday. Fried. And the swings, I got fried too. But anyways, today we kind of made only $13. Very, very bad discipline. And I'm in too many swings. So I did cut some. I am in only two swings. I'm gonna tell you what I did trade. I traded Nvidia and I traded let's see. Okay, I traded UNH. This is me, by the way. And as an update, today will be like my last video for a while because I got 3 weeks left of school and I gotta focus on some stuff. School, finals, tournament, getting stuff ready for graduation, which I haven't gotten ready, so I don't want to put extra stress on me. So hopefully I'll be back maybe after the second week of May or third week of May. But just follow me on X, and I'm always going to be active on there. It's very easy to post. But today taught me something, and I'm just clicking my pen. So 304 on this, and then I replied to him as well that, hey, I also got this as well on UNH. So let's go over UNH. I took UNH and then NVIDIA, and then I am going to go over my swings briefly, and then my trade for my brother, which I use Skylit for him as well, so that way he can get into a really good. So yeah, I'm just gonna go over his entry because I spotted something that I should be more focused on these kind of choppier days. It was a little bit choppy in the morning. So yesterday, this is not my call, by the way. They took UNH calls for 365. UNH, why UNH? Well, if we go here, let's go to the weekly on here. Let's go to UNH 4-hour chart because Daytrade Dash does not have 4-hour chart. So this is a really great setup. I saw this yesterday. They called it out yesterday at before the close, and they're looking for 365 target. And I was like, okay, this is a very bullish chart. This is a bear flag setup, a bullish flag setup. Sorry. And I was like, damn, tomorrow morning, which is today, I'm gonna get in right away. So I got in first thing in the morning because I knew this was gonna pump. Like, this is perfect setup. And I got 3 contracts. I sold one here. The one that I sold was the one that he posted, and I made 304 off that, and I let one run, and I took my other one off here, which is this one right over here. So 234. I was like, good, 530 on the day for the day trade, for a day trade. Now my swing trades, before I go into those, UNH, these contracts went up to $600. Hold on, I just got something stuck in my throat. These contracts went over to $600. Look how far UNH went over. It went to like almost 370. We hit 369. So I thought that was pretty insane, and I was like, wow, this is really great. And I'm gonna keep learning on how to swing because swinging has been showing some more benefit, and this is a swing market. On the right stocks, not the wrong ones. Now Baba, I got screwed over. I lost 400. I basically broke even today. And then BA as well. I took it off Tim. I was like, let me just get that off. NUE, this was another call out from another Discord. And this had earnings, and this guy has been putting really good earnings. So if you go to Skylight right now, you're going to see, look, there's flow scanner and flow tracker. So you can look at the flow. I have some settings for short term, long term. There's a bunch of ways. If you guys are like good at doing all this, which is what this person was good at, they were looking at the flow for earnings, because that's gonna give you an indication of, okay, there's a lot of probably institutions that are positioning themselves, or maybe insiders positioning themselves because they know what's going to go on. So it's really smart to look at that way, but it's a bit more complicated than just looking at the nodes or on the heat seeker. It's a bit more complicated than this. You have to really know what you're looking for, and these were supposed to be up over $200, but overnight hours kind of brought that down. So I was like, okay, whatever. We'll move on. I'm still keeping my Joby calls, same thing with my Snap calls. These are from another call out from this other guy on Chris. This guy's good. He has done some really good call outs. He called out hymns one time, and his hymns call went up so much. It went from 40 all the way to like almost 200 a contract. So I was like, man. And he gave that out for free. This was a long time ago, so I'm not going to scroll all the way back to that, but I'm holding those two for now. Those are the only 2 swings I'm holding. So yeah, I got screwed on my swings. UNH was really good, and this is the setup you want to look for, the 4 hour. This is amazing. I was like, okay, I have to take this. I know this is gonna go good. You know, when you see this MACD pulling back and going negative, but we're holding above our EMAs, that to me is really good. That is a good bullish indicator for a good swing. And you know, I know I said I was gonna work on Palantir, but Palantir kind of broke that trend. Rocket Lab probably, yeah. See, Palantir did not hold that trend, so I think we're still on the downtrend on Rocket Lab. Also, if I didn't go over this earlier, I'm gonna go over this again. I did post a short about this, guys. This has, you know, a simulation trade. These are my active sims right now. So you go to new trade and you could do sim trading. And I'm gonna keep practicing on this. I look at something, I'm like, okay, let me take this on my own. You could also see what other people are trading as well in this, you know, community. And you go to my trades, you go to statuses, you go to active, and you don't follow people on this because these are simulated trading. This is not to do, you know, not to go crazy. Don't go crazy on this. So I have, these are my active trades, my ONDS calls, Roblox. There's earnings. I'm trying to see how that will go. SoFi, Rocket Lab. I want to start positioning myself for Rocket Lab. Um, I mean, it's holding above this 200 pretty nicely, so I'll see what happens. You know, it moved up pretty quickly, and I'm a big fan of the company. But anyways, Nvidia. So why did I trade Nvidia? Again, another call out, and I was like, man, I don't know. Should I get in this? And I got in at the top like the idiot I was. I didn't wait. It started pumping. The target price was 215, and on the heat seeker, you can see the flow. So I forgot. You can't even zoom in on this. So this is for Nvidia. So there are no orders between 214 and 213, but we had a possible slippage to 210 because that's the next biggest order, 17 million. So we slipped between 212 and 210, but this king notice is 215. And I was like, okay, there's no resistance 212, 213, 214. It likely will break through those levels, but it didn't do that. Um, you know, I was expecting to do that here, bounce off the 200, and it didn't. But I was looking at the 15-minute. I drew this trend line. I was like, hey, I think we're gonna bottom out here. We have some support in this area. It did bottom out right here. I held through all of it, and I was like, you know what? This was a call out from someone that, you know, again, I am in the same Discord, and he's really good at swinging, and he knows how to hold. But my issue was I ported too much. I ported way too much. You know, I got to stop sizing up. I sized up way too soon, way too quickly on this trade, and I was in 4 contracts. I got in 4 contracts, and I was down like, guys, I was down like almost like $500 already, and I was like, damn. But I was like, no, this is gonna recover, and it was for tomorrow expiration, not today expiration. A lot of things can happen between today and tomorrow, but I took it off the table. This should be green right here. So why did I keep holding? Well, we had support. The heat maps were showing the support at the 210. I was like, I think we're still gonna bounce back, even though I saw it flush. I was like, okay, you know what? Just practice your holding, and it's not good. It was not good, but I mean, that was a risk, and I came back from it. I came back from a really big red day to a green day, and that's the thing with swings. With day trades, you don't want to hold because that's likely not going to work. But with swings, you could probably get away with it if you see a trend forming, and if you know you have your established price targets, and you have other tools like Heat Seeker. So I was pretty ballsy in holding this, and it was pretty risky, I will admit. And you know, I took off 3 contracts because it was already going green, $6, and the next one it's Nvidia started to fall off a little bit, so I was like, all right, let me take the last one off because just in case. So that's where I took off my last one. I was watching this the whole time. I was like, okay, let's see where this goes. The 5 minute was already getting thin. I was like, let me take it off, and then if it bounces, then cool, I'll make a little bit more. But it didn't. Took it off the table. So I was like, okay, whatever. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. And then UNH, this was UNH. No, this is not Nvidia. This is UNH. So this is why I looked into the UNH as well, and that's why I took it. Anything I'm going to look at the heat maps because I have to use that in conjunction. I pay for this, and it makes sense. So we opened up at 357. We're in this gamma environment, positive gamma environment between 355, 357, and we shot all the way through closer to the king node. This king node is a magnitude, is a magnet. These gammas, these negative gammas are considered air pockets. So price can break through those pretty easily. From what I'm learning, what I've been learning, and what I've seen, price does tend to break through those air pockets headed in that direction. I mean, look, from 362 through 367, we instantly, like, I think it was a pretty clean break. I don't think it was struggling. Look, from here, 362, Yeah, 362 was around here, and we just kept going up. No problem, no problem. Okay, so QQQ, I did not take this, but my brother did. Okay, cool. I don't want to make the videos too long. I try to my best to not make them as long as possible because I don't want to be boring. But let's see, where did I? Okay, here. Okay, so QQQ. This is my brother's contract. He only took one. 738. Where did he enter? He entered right here. Oh shit! I hate when I do that. Okay, I told him, hey, take your. Hold on. What was the view app? There we go. I don't know why the view app disappeared. I told him as soon as it crossed over the view app, I was like, take the view app off there. 5 minute was already going red. 15 minute was already communicating that downtrend. Now, when I go here, I'm gonna show you guys what I'm looking at and what I need to be looking at on these. If environment's not negative, I need to look for these bounces. The bounce off the node or ceiling or floor, because this is what happened. So look at QQQ on the very right. We had a king node 659 at 7, right in this area. We had a high at 659 right over here, and then the ceiling kept coming down. So more ceilings, just like so. It kept on coming down further. 658, 659, 658, and at this entry at 722, or no, 725, sorry. Okay, so look, it's gonna hit. It already hit 659. So you see the spot price. The spot price, which is the current price, it hit 659. Right, it touched that level because that's considered a ceiling. If the king node is already there, if the spot price isn't that far away from the king node, and you're obviously the chart will have to support this. This was supporting the downtrend. Looking at this will confirm that as well. Same thing SPY. SPY was also in the same downtrend. So look, it hit that, hit 659, and it keeps going down. So and get rejected again, and then that ceiling keeps coming down to 658. You see that ceiling? This is a rolling ceiling. We were at 659 ceiling, king node, and then 658 was a new king node, and it kept going down, and it rejected further. Now we ended up bouncing back up at 655. I told my brother, hey, take your target price at the low, which was today at 652.32. I told him, let's see if it breaks 657 first, because his contract was for 657 put. I was like, let it break 657, then see if it breaks the low, because we formed a pretty nice wick there, but it sliced through. He took his profit off the table, and I didn't take those. I ran out of buying power because I was stuck in video calls. So, this is a good use of this tool. I'm looking at those levels. That's a good use of a short. And it did go further, but I mean, off 5 contracts, you'd make like over $500. And of course, the one I didn't take, he makes a lot more. So it's okay. I'm glad he made money, and I want him to be better off because, as my brother, I got to take care of him. Always take care of your family. Always take care of family. They'll take care of you when you least expect it. So then the rest of the day, we started pumping. We formed kind of like a choppy area right there, and then we broke out. And on my sim trade, I took this trade, so I'll go over that sim trade as well. So I'll go to closed. This was right here, the 656 calls. I don't know. Oh, the details. Good. So I didn't even know this, that you can have details. Look at all these details. I opened 20 contracts. I was like, fuck this, let me take this. So 730. I don't know why. I'm gonna close this out. I don't know why it says I opened at 10:31. I remember I opened it around here because I kept trying to time calls, but I was like, nope, this is not good. I kept trying to time calls here. Whoops. I tried to time the calls here, but then I noticed a problem in that area on the 5-minute time frame. We weren't crossing over. This was not a good crossover. Right here is when things started to get, slimmed out. And then once this EMA is beginning to diverge out, I was like, okay, this is what I need to look for. It doesn't matter if it looks like it's going up. That convergence needs to happen. So I got in for about 20 contracts, $81, and I kept, scaling my way out. I kept going up higher and higher, and I rode these all the way until closer. I waited for the view app breakout. I was like, let's see how this doesn't view up. And I closed them around here. And it did go up higher, but I didn't worry about that. It's a sim trade. And I was like, okay, I need to make this use. If I'm out of buying power, use the simulation trade because that will only enhance my experience. And I was kind of going crazy on this because, as you can see, look at my previous. I wonder if I can close out these details last yet. Look at all these failed attempts, guys. Look at these failed attempts. Earlier, I tried to take a contract, 657, 656. I kept trying to take them. So let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then until 5. So I need to get better at this. And if I run a vampire, use the sim. There's nothing wrong with using sim because it's going to enhance my experience in watching how this moves. So now this was around 1:25 Eastern Standard Time. So this is around 10:25. Okay. So okay, I guess it was 10 for me. So confusing sometimes. So confusing. Okay, so what I was looking at here, I was like, okay, we've already established a floor. These are our floors, 654, 653. We never went below that. You can see here on the sign, 654 was, or any closure below 654 was not happening. It was only above. So that told me, hey, we have a floor at 654. So it kept going up, and it kept finding a base or a new base, and that new base turned into the king node. So that was really strong. That was good. That is really bullish. If that king node becomes the base, then the new king node will likely start forming up in the top to form a ceiling, and then this becomes your floor. And now it took some time for that to happen because you can see the switch off happening right here. Boom. And this is positive gamma, so it's gonna trend slowly. It's not gonna be fast. And we ended up hitting almost 650, 660 almost. You see this little air pocket right here, 659 between 58 and 60. Yeah, that's good because that means price is going to be able to slip through into 660. And this was the wall or the ceiling from there. So it's constantly changing. This environment is constantly changing. And you see there, it did double top close to 660. Didn't quite hit it, or maybe close to 659. But this environment is constantly changing. And I feel like without this, like I don't know. I really don't think I can trade without this tool anymore. I really want to use this tool. I didn't use this tool to do any of the ETF tradings on QQQ. No, I did not. And now the market's closing 12:59. But man, this tool is useful, and I need to get better at what I'm seeing. And all the guys in the Discord related to Skylit, they are, giving out not their advice, but their own interpretations of what they see. And I'm learning, and this is going to be great because there's going to be a day where I'm going to be able to capitalize on a really good 10x gainer because I'm able to see this stuff. And there have been many possibilities, but not every day is going to be 10x, but there's a lot of 2x and 3x's that actually happen throughout the day. So this could have happened. You could have played puts going down. This would have been quicker. And this is what you want. You want to be in and out. I don't want to hold. I mean, you held this for like almost 2 hours. This is almost a 2-hour hold to take these calls. And it was pretty choppy on the way up. But yeah, hopefully you guys found that useful. What else am I looking at? Oh, yeah. That's pretty much about it. So yeah, this is probably my last video for a while. I don't want to focus on posting. Just follow me on X, please. Like, I think X is easier. If you're not on X, if you're a trader, active trader, if you're not on X, you need to be on there. A lot of people on that trade are on here the whole time. They know. More people know stuff, but you also have to take stuff with a grain of salt. No, I'm not brand premium. I don't need that shit. Take stuff with a grain of salt because, you never know. So let's see. What else? Yeah, just good memes. Oh, I got out of my poet. I mean, okay. So I'm only holding Bull, which is Webull, and SHMD. I got out all my Poet. Something happened where they had a confidentiality breach on Poet. One of the CFOs, Chief Financial Officer, they leaked a purchase order, and man, I was up, guys. I was up over $1,000. I didn't take profit. This was between over the weekend, and then yesterday overnight, or yesterday at pre-market, we started dumping it, and I was like, damn, I'm gonna get out. I got a saving position. I was up like almost $200, but I want to save that for buying power. Save that for the next stock I want to invest. SHMD. Look into this, guys. Do your own due diligence. They're hardware equipment. They're a German company. Germany companies are typically not bad. There's some good ones out there. I think one related to war. I forgot what the name was, but look into SHMD. And this is Webull. I know I'm doing the opposite because I invest in Robinhood, but I think Webull's still pretty undervalued. A lot of people use Webull, you know, a lot of people do use Webull, and I think this is a good deal. Other stocks I'm looking at, that's really about it, and then just investing in the Roth IRA. If you guys have any, oh, yeah, just investing in the Roth. So Webull and SHMD, those are the only two right now. Um, I just want to focus on the trading. I just want to focus on growing the capital. Yeah, that's pretty much about it. So I'm mainly in cash right now, but some positions, 70 cash, 30% positions, and I think that's wise. Okay, it's pretty wise for right now because we're buying all-time highs right now. I don't know. You're gonna lose more money, I feel. So mainly in cash, gonna use it to trade. But yeah, take care, guys. Peace.